Today on Maury.
His fans have made him a legend. He's the self-proclaimed king of all media. Now, in the wake of his blockbuster movie, Private Parts, Howard Stern is doing something he's never done before. The Maury Povich Show. If you thought you knew Howard, you're in for a big surprise.
I didn't have sex with her at all.
But he's here to come clean on the rumors, the movie, the real Howard Stern.
I gotta actually go do the Maury Povich show today.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather meet with Satan.
Gotta wonder what Maury's got up his sleeve.
Yeah, right.
Love him or hate him. If you're driving, you can't turn him off, and now he is exposing all his private parts.
And this is the hell that's my life.
Seeing Howard Stern's private parts will be the thing to do this season. With the release of his movie, Howard will be adding one of the last jewels to his royal crown as king of all media.
I am the greatest broadcaster in America.
Well, the Howard Stern Show is the #1 rated radio talk show in the country, while his television program has put the E-stick pin on the cable map. His first book, Private Parts, was the fastest-selling autobiography in history, and his second, Miss America, even beat out Madonna's book, Sex, for most sales on the first day. His book signings were a true spectacle as tens of thousands of his loyal listeners literally brought cities to a standstill.
Mama monkey! Mama!
But Howard's brand of fun doesn't appeal to everyone. A constant feud with the FCC has cost his distribution company millions of dollars in fines.
This is a total outrage. This is a total violation of the Constitution of the United States. What happened to free speech? What's going on here?
His run at the New York State governorship was criticized by some as a crass publicity stunt. On his show, no person or subject is sacred, and his views on sex, race, politics, and his own body leave many outraged. But no matter how serious people take him, Howard says he's just having fun. Now, for those of you who are grabbing your remotes because of how you feel about Howard Stern, I challenge you, please, stay with us for the entire hour, because today, Howard's going to let you in on a little secret. Guess what? In real life, Howard Stern is really a nice guy. Ladies and gentlemen, the king of all media, Howard Stern.
It's like I'm running for governor again or something, you know?
It's bigger than that.
Actually, putting out a movie is like running for governor, Maury. You got to, you got to win over the people. You got to get the product out there. You got to tell them what's happening. And quite frankly, I'm very excited to be here. You look absolutely ridiculous. I know I look ridiculous. I've got a Louis XIV haircut that makes people nervous, but this is outrageous. It's hard to believe he got Connie Chung, isn't it? I picture at night, Maury puts on his devil horns, puts on his cape, and gets a hold of Connie and gets her in a clinch. Now, I haven't seen you in a while.
I know it.
You used to do my radio show. You got mad at me because I didn't come and do your show.
Yeah, but now you're here.
But now I'm here, and that's all.
That's okay.
And now I can torture you about Connie Chung. Maury used to come on my show all the time. And even, you know, I always thought you were a brave man because...
Well, are you going back to the leather pants?
No, I always thought you were a brave man because you would come on even in the midst when you were trying to give Connie a baby.
Right.
And I said, of course, you couldn't deliver the goods.
Yes.
And then I would stay. Thank God they got cloning now. Maybe they'll finally clone somebody. What's going on with that? Did you ever get her pregnant?
We have a child. We adopted a marvelous child.
So you couldn't deliver the goods?
I did deliver the goods.
Yeah, well,
we adopted
that's
the
adoption.
child.
I thought you were going to deliver the goods, for God's sake.
Extra goods. Now, wait a second.
Let me ask you something.
Well, no, wait a second. Howard,
Wait a
please,
second.
it's
At
my
your
show.
advanced age, they let you adopt a child?
Yes.
I thought at a certain point they say, wait a second, Grandpa,
No,
you
I
can't
lied.
be a...
I lied.
You're kidding me.
Yeah. But thankfully, I have a child before I have a grandchild. That would have been terrible.
Yeah, that's true. I told Maury, for God's sakes, don't wear tight pants, because he was wearing these tight jockey,
No,
the
I
Calvin Klein
wasn't.
jockey
I know, I
shorts.
was a boxer
And I think
boy.
that's what happened. You go home to Connie and you couldn't deliver the goods.
Now, Howard.
Your sperm was all heated
Wait
up.
a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
You got this big movie.
I'm very excited about the movie.
It's a hell of a movie.
Well, you saw it last night.
Yeah, I saw it. But, I mean, this is the way it is. I pick up Newsweek magazine, and they're calling you Mr. Sensitivity.
Right.
They're saying Howard's out there trying to make people love him.
Right.
What is the story?
I didn't set out to make a movie to have people love me. That wasn't the idea. As a matter of fact, I set out for one reason to make a movie. That was to make people laugh. And the fact that people are coming away saying he's sensitive and stuff is probably the most shocking part of Private Parts.
I mean, yeah, I mean...
Well, because
how do you react to that? I mean, your whole persona is gone now.
No, not at all. In fact, I've always said, and my wife has said this, there's two different people. There's a guy on the radio who is a complete monster, and there's this guy off the air, and people have said to me, the most interesting thing about knowing me is that I'm this nice guy off the air. And I've always sort of contended that the guy on the radio is the real me.
I believe that.
The guy who's allowed, you know, I think we all have an internal dialogue going on in our head. Like right now, you're sitting there going, look at Stern's hair. When is he, you know, he's getting a little bit old. When's he going to cut that hair? And whatever that internal dialogue is most interesting. And my idea, my goal in radio, it's a simple goal. I said, I'm going to split my head open in front of the audience, and I'm going to let everything come out. Everything that I think. And I always hated real life, because in real life, I was a wimp and a geek, and I never felt comfortable.
But that's what people related to.
Yes, and the point is that if I was going to make a movie that was truly interesting and you're responding properly, you're saying, wow, I really like this movie, I think what you're finding interesting is that I tell the truth. And the truth is, off the air, I play a wicked role. I play this role of a businessman. I certainly go home and I can talk to my wife rationally. You know...
But I want to know how truthful you are. Watch this. We have a moment in the movie when you all of a sudden have to make a decision. You're out there with a penthouse pet, it's some beautiful woman who invites you back to her room.
Yes.
And you go back to her room, and she invites you into the tub.
Well, this is the story of my marriage. I think the thing that people are responding to in the movie is that it's a romantic movie. I know with this face you go, I can't believe it's a romantic movie.
I want to see this clip of Howard now trying to decide what's going to happen as this woman invites him into the private. You did not...
I did not cheat. And let me tell you something, that is this story, and that's why I say this is the hell that's my life. I never imagined. I mean, you saw what I looked like back then. If I look bad now, I really look bad back then. And I was a very lucky guy. When I was in college, I was not good with women. I was the uber geek. And I found a woman who was interested in me. At the young age of 19, someone who actually liked me. She was a beautiful woman, and she was willing to travel the country with me. And suddenly, when I got famous on the radio, women started to get attracted to me.
Right.
And this was unthinkable to me. I had no idea what was going on, and it creates a problem in our marriage. And I wanted to be honest on the film and show you what my marriage is really like. I think there's a whole agenda going on in my marriage that's very unique.
Did she split from you after that?
My wife has gotten mad at me at a couple of points in our marriage where it's gotten really bad. Because I do have strippers on the air, because I have women coming on to me, because I tell everything, because I expose her miscarriage on the air, she gets hurt sometimes. And I
would too.
Yeah, sure. And the problem is that most Hollywood movies sugarcoat these relationships, and I didn't want to do that.
All right. In that movie, in that bathtub, with that actress, you get into the bathtub with that actress.
That's right.
You did it with her, didn't you?
Yeah.
You did it.
No, I didn't have sex with her at all.
Yes, you did.
No.
With that actress.
Are you insane? Would you take off those devil horns before I come over and smack you around? I've never seen anything. I've never been interviewed with a guy.
I think you did it.
No, I didn't. I've never cheated on my wife.
Any man in that position, in that bathtub, you said in an interview that actors, if they say that they can blasely get into a bathtub with an actress and do this kind of scene, almost like naked, that something's got to be going on.
Oh, well, no, now you're saying when I was doing the actual scene? When I was doing the scene, I would listen.
You did
Actors who no, wait a second. Would you listen? Would you stop already? You're worse than me. The point is, when I did this scene with this actress, Melanie Good, beautiful woman, I was in a tub with her for 2 days shooting the scene. And let me tell you something. This was the most exciting time of my life. These guys, I see actors interviewed all the time.
How close did you?
I'll tell you. I'm going to give you the scoop. You're in such a rush. We got a whole hour to kill. Listen to me. When I was in the tub with this woman, these actors who say, you know, gee, when you do love scenes, it's all technical, you never get aroused. I am here to say I was aroused. I was fully aroused. The director, Betty Thomas, came over to me during this scene and even said, you know, people are starting to talk. They see you're aroused. Would you calm down? I said, Betty, I'm no actor. I'm really in this bathtub with a woman. What are you talking about? I'm really enjoying this.
Did you go home and tell your wife that?
Yeah, I told my wife that, no, are you kidding? I lie to my wife. In real life, I lie all the time. On the air, I'm truthful. I said to my wife, oh, these love scenes and all this stuff, it's all technical. I said, you don't even feel anything. You're so busy acting, you don't notice anything. Of course you lie to your wife.
I want to find out how Allison feels about Howard, especially when he comes to discussing those intimate details that Howard does on the show. I don't know if I could handle this. We're going to find out how Allison did handle it when we come back after this. These kids are tired of being picked on.
They all make fun of me. They call me midget.
Do you have a lot of friends?
Not really.
Do they call you names?
Twin Towers and Amazon twins.
So we're giving them a whole new look. What do you think now?
I'm just happy.
As you watch the show,
I like who I am.
you can't help but fall in love with these kids. You just want to thank me? Oh, sweetie, on that kid. On the next Maury.
Tomorrow afternoon at 1.
Forget about being #1 in radio across this country. This week, Howard Stern is #1 everywhere, in every form. His new movie, Private Parts, has just opened. It's taking America by storm. And I want to talk about your wife.
By the way, didn't it take you by surprise that in the movie it was romantic? I mean, even though you saw the problems with my wife.
How close did you get excited with Mary McCormick, who played your wife in the movie?
Well, I got to be honest with you.
I saw you looking at her...
lovingly?
Yes.
That's because I'm such a convincing actor.
And it wasn't her face. And it wasn't her face you were looking at.
There was a lot of tender moments between me and my wife, and Mary McCormick is a beautiful actress, and I have to confess that especially, I did quite a few kissing scenes with her. As a matter of fact, there were scenes that called for no kissing, that I would go up to the director, Betty Thomas, I'd say, listen, I know my wife's cleaning the stove here in her house coat, but wouldn't I come up and start making out with her? And was it the first time you had a romantic scene with her and you had to kiss her? Did you say to her, you better get a barf bag because this is going to be terrible? I said to her, if you want, I'll provide a paper bag so you can throw up. I was very nervous. You know, listen, for all of my bravado, I was very nervous because we had scheduled a whole day of making out. And Betty said to me, you know, it's got to look convincing, so you guys better go at it and use your tongues and everything. And I said, well, that's terrible, but I'll do it for the film. She's a beautiful young actress. She did a great job playing my wife. And when I was laying in the bed with her, Maury, I must admit I was aroused. I said to her, I turned to her and I said, Mary, I'm embarrassed to admit this, I'm aroused. And she said, I can't feel anything. I said, well, that's typical. That's Howard. That's the Howard we love. So did you leave the theater thinking that I love my wife? Yes. You did? Yes. Well, I also left the theater thinking that I don't think she cuts you as much slack as I'm led to believe. I would say that that portrayal in the movie is about 100% accurate. And in fact, I took my wife to see the film about 3 weeks ago. She hadn't seen it. She'd read the scripts. And, but it's a lot different reading a script than actually seeing the film. She looked at the film and she cried during some of the scenes. Some of the people told me they got kind of misty-eyed, especially toward the end. And she said, you know, it's really true. I have to turn the radio off sometimes in front of my friends. And she said it was weird to see our life on film. But what was most personal to her was this fact that I do go on the air and talk about our sex life and things. And it's hard for her to watch sometimes. Here's a very funny moment. They're trying to make a baby. You should relate to this, Maury. Yes, I sure do. Here's... this is how it's done, Maury. Yeah, okay. I thought I forgot. Here's Howard and his wife on screen. Hey, honey, Robin Leach says we should move to Antigua.
Oh, yeah. Come on, hurry up. Netflix.
I'm in the middle of important show research.
Howard. Seriously, come on.
You know what? You're getting baby fever here, and you know, maybe it's a little premature. I'm about 3 days away from being fired, the way I figure it. And you want to know something? You got to think about the economics of this.
You're the best morning man in the history of radio. Any minute you're going to be #1.
Is that so?
Yeah,
Let me
strip.
tell you something. Look at yourself. You're completely on fire about having a baby. You don't understand. I'm not a piece of meat. I mean, I have to be romance.
Yeah, please.
Ooh, look at that bra. Where did you get that?
You like this?
Okay, that's it. That's it. I am making a baby. It's baby time. I'm ready to give you a baby. Hold on.
Okay, now I'm hot. Now I actually want to have sex. I didn't before, now I
That was an exciting time of my life, especially just making that scene. That was really good. But, you know, the thing is that finding someone to play Allison was very difficult, too. Finding the right actress.
How many actresses did you go through?
We were lucky. When the script went out...
Did you audition them for that scene?
Yeah. Well, we auditioned a lot, actually, and it's a funny story because when the script first went out...
How many different women did you audition?
We went through about 10 women that I personally auditioned with.
Really?
Yeah.
Were they intimate scenes?
Well, no. You know, in auditions, the rule is you're not allowed to kiss and stuff. If the person gets the part, then you get to make out with them like crazy. That's the deal. So it was difficult because I wanted people to see a film where it looked like you were just eavesdropping on my life. And when the script went out to a lot of different agents and casting people, they were shocked by how good the script was. And there's not a lot of good roles for women in film. So we all of a sudden started hearing from very famous Hollywood actresses and famous television stars. And we came close to hiring this television star. I'm not going to say who she is because she didn't want to be known as the woman who got rejected by Howard Stern. So we would audition all these people, and I'd say, gee, I can't get over the fact that I know this woman from this TV show. You're going to keep thinking that's the woman from the TV show. So I was lucky that Ivan Reitman, who was the producer of the film, said, hey, did you ever see Mary McCormick on Murder One? She's really good. I said, let me take a look at her. So they show me a clip, and I go, no, she's too fancy, and she's not right. They go, dope, she's an actress. She can change her look. She's a good actress. So I auditioned with her, and we just had this sort of phenomenal chemistry together. It felt real. She felt like she sort of captured the essence of my wife.
Is there anything in your real life that you will not say on the air about your wife?
My wife says no. There are times my wife comes up to me and says, and I'm not even thinking about talking about something on the air, and all of a sudden she'll say, don't talk about that on the air. And then I go, oh, that'd be great on the air. And she really, I mean, as you see in the movie, we've never resolved this issue in our marriage, and we don't resolve it in the movie, which I like. I didn't want to sugarcoat the relationship at all.
I see a sequel here.
Well, you know, it's funny. People said to us, you know, the last couple of scenes in the movie, when you're in you're now in the present day, and you have your family and your children, everyone said, gee, I wish you did a couple of more scenes. And I think if this movie did well, I would do a sequel to it. But...
Okay. Guess what? You not only see Howard as he is, by the way, he starts playing himself in the movie at the age of 20, which, by the way, is one of the great lines in the movie, is when all of a sudden we see you, Howard Stern, at Boston University at the age of 20, and you say, hey, what are you going to do? I mean, this is Hollywood. This is film.
Well, what I say
is suspended disbelief.
I said, do yourself a favor, man. I'm never going to look 20, so suspend your disbelief and let's go on with it.
And that's when. But guess what? There was Howard at 6, there was Howard at 12, and there's Howard at 16. What was the real life Howard like back then? We'll find out when we come back after this.
Watch KCAL 9 News.
Radio, television, best-selling author, now a big movie star. He is the king of all media. When you were a kid, did your father really yell at you your entire childhood?
My father called me a moron every day of my life. And you know something? I try to show in the movie, and that is a very true scene when you see my father taking me to work. My father was a radio engineer, and every minute, shut up, sit down, you're a moron. You know, the guy who plays my dad did a great job. This guy captured the essence of my father. But one of the things I try to show in the movie, and this is really true, that my father, I always felt really loved me. And the reason he was calling me an idiot was probably the way he was raised. And he kind of was really insecure. He really thought that this dopey little kid would never amount to anything or be able to get a job. And his way of calling me a moron was sort of to say, like, you know, sort of shape up. I never felt that he was sort of hateful of me or he didn't love me. And even to this day, when I'm on the radio sometimes, my father is a tremendously funny man and has a really great sense. He's got a great sense of humor and he's very bright. And when he was a young guy, I remember he'd sit around with his friends and he would start to lecture them on the news. And he would do these monologues in our living room, and he would make people laugh, and he would make people really get on a roll. And sometimes when I'm on the radio to this day, I could swear to you that I'm like sort of doing an impression of my father the way he was in that living room. So I probably
these
owe a lot to
long
my father.
monologues. And yeah, and there's something else. I mean, he's got his father who yelled at him his entire childhood, and a mother who took his temperature every day.
Well, I do exaggerate a little bit, but
rectally?
My mother had this thing where she would take my temperature rectally. And I'm not talking about when I was 5 years old. I'm talking about, I think I was 16 or 17.
Oh, come on, Howard.
Maury, and then I'd say to my mother, Ma, why are you taking my temperature rectally? She'd say, well, I called the doctor, and he wants an accurate temperature. And if you take the temperature anally, you get it to the proper degree. It can be off 1 or 2 degrees if you take it in the mouth. I said, Ma, so add 2 degrees. You know, what are you doing? So my mother's this great kind of character, but
okay.
You know, as you can see, she also had some character to her. As there's a couple of scenes in the movie where I think she wins you over.
I got a question. I was just wondering, you said before how you lead 2 different lifestyles or 2 different personalities. How much of your TV, radio personality do you allow your daughters to be exposed to? And what kind of abuse do they receive in school because of you?
Well, first of all, I allow my daughters to know one thing about me, that I am not a disc jockey. I've told them since birth I am a Harvard law professor. And as far as they know, that's what I do. They're very proud of their father. No, in all seriousness, my oldest daughter is 13. I have a daughter who's 10, and I have a daughter who's 4. So she's kind of like out of it at this point. She doesn't know her father's the incubus.
Is a 13-year-old teased at all?
No, my kids are really popular kids, and they have a lot of friends, and believe it or not, they're very well adjusted. I'm going on record right now. I think my kids will turn out better than Cody and Cassidy. Now, what do you think?
Now,
those kids cannot grow up well-adjusted, Maury. What, do you agree? I mean, seriously.
Now, do the kids listen to the show?
My kids don't. I don't allow the kids to listen to the show because at 13, I don't think it's appropriate. And that's what I always say to all parents. You know, parents go, well, if you don't let your kid listen, why should I let mine? Don't let your kid listen. I don't care. I got to tell you this, with the movie,
yeah.
The movie is rated R. I would have no problem with my daughters are going to see the movie. It's a tough thing just for my kids to see the movie because I deal very honestly with my life. I mean, we're talking about some of the things I do are pretty whacked out.
Well, what happens in a couple of years when your 13-year-old daughter is now 16 or 17 and she brings home somebody like this?
Howard,
let me take a look. Let me see what we're dealing with.
I mean,
2 questions, Howard.
I mean, but have you ever had that absolute nightmare that my kid might bring home one of the people who listen to my show?
Maury, my nightmare is that people listening to your show are going to bring my show.
2 questions, Howard. First of all, what do I have to do to be on your show?
I think if you grab Maury, forget it. I don't want to.
Howard has already told us that he has been faithful to his wife, Allison. We believe him. But there is another woman in his life, and she probably knows Howard better than anybody. We'll talk to her and find out exactly what Howard is all about when we come back after this. There are some skeptics. Here's one.
In your movie, you expose your private parts, and I just want to know, was that really your butt?
Yes, that is my buttocks. You know, Maury, I've often said I have a buttocks made for comedy. There was a time when I was rejecting scripts around this movie, and I kept turning down script after script, and some guys in Hollywood said to me who were putting up money for this, they said, you know, you're afraid to make this movie. I said, no, I don't want to make a bad movie. I'm not going to make this movie till the script is right. They said, no, you're afraid. I said, look, I'm a guy who exposed his cellulite-ridden butt cheeks, filled with hair. I mean, are those disgusting? What?
The worst.
I expose those to the world.
And not only is it bad, it's at the beginning of the movie.
Right. I said, look, I expose those to the world on national television. Do you think I'm afraid to make a movie? So eventually we got this thing, you know, onto the big screen.
So in other words, there was no double. It was
no
you.
double. Those are my butt cheeks, and I am not proud of them. I really got to start working out and doing squats.
Okay. Now, there's a time when Howard finally comes to the city he had always wanted to come to as a radio disc jockey, and that was New York, which was his home. He wanted to come back to New York.
Well,
and he gets hired by none other than the flagship station of NBC, the big NBC radio network, WNBC.
This is why this movie feels like a Rocky story to me, in a sense. I've described it this way to people who haven't seen it. I said, just when you know, here's the guy who was horrible on the radio. And Maury, when I first got on the radio, I was horrible. I had to go back and listen to tapes of myself.
Can you still do the early Howard Stern?
Yeah, it was painful to
do a line.
All right, what would happen to me is I don't know how it was for you when you first got on the air, but I would be so nervous that my breath, I couldn't breathe. So I'd be catching my breath, and my voice would go up here, and I sounded like Kermit the Frog. You know? I mean, and I'd be like, WNBC, this is Howard Stern. And welcome to the Howard Stern Experience. And I couldn't even catch a breath. So for me to go from that and to finally succeed in radio, where I succeeded in Washington and I became this big phenomenon, I get hired by NBC and I said, my problems are over. This is the greatest thing. I'm going to New York. They must love me there, this radio station. They get me. They understand what I'm going to do. I get to NBC, and my program director wants to get me fired. And, you know, we all have bosses like that and can relate to it. I mean, I know in your broadcast career, did you not have guys who would try to knock you down?
Did.
I just think that there are guys who, you know, have a dream in life. And even though my dream was dopey, to tell, you know, dopey jokes on the radio and penis jokes and stuff, I had this idea that I wanted to do it. And there's always someone in your life who tries to knock you down. And you know, what is the ultimate retribution? Not only to write a book about these guys, but to now have it brought to the big screen in such a big way. So this is great. I mean, some of these guys are coming to the movie premiere. Some of these guys are going to go to the theater and see this thing. And I will just be sitting there going, uh-huh. And also, it's kind of great even for my dad. Because I know to this day, I'm still trying to please my dad. Whenever he'd call me a moron in this, I said, one day I'll be able to prove to you I'm not a moron. So maybe with the movie I can do that.
Now, let's introduce somebody who you even said in the movie brings reason and sanity to the show and to your life.
Well, she actually brings a lot more than reason and sanity. I believe Robin is probably the most important woman in my life. Robin...
What would Allison say about that?
Well, when I'm sitting next to Allison and she's about to come out, I'll say that about her. Maury, I'm a phony. I told you that. Allison's not here, is she? Robin's here. That's what you say. So anyway, the point is that I know that I was not very good on the radio until I had Robin at my side. Robin's the kind of performer where if I am sitting there and I'm doing the radio show and I'm dragging my butt because I've been up since 4 in the morning, and suddenly I kind of run out of steam and I think, well, I've done about as much as I can do. Robin has a steel trap mind. She will come in, make a comment, and that will get me off to the races and going. Many times, even when you're on the show, I'll be done with you, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And you go, hey, I got off easy.
Yeah, and then
Robin will go, Maury, didn't you try to have sex with Connie at a sperm bank the
It's
other
like
day?
a tag team.
Yeah, it's a tag team, and without Robin, the show is nothing. So
and here she is, everyone. Please welcome Robin Trivers. Who, by the way, other than you surprising, she was the biggest surprise in the movie.
Why did I surprise you?
Yeah, what? Robin
I
is
didn't
an
think you
accomplished
could do
actress.
this.
That's right. I've been acting for years.
I didn't know.
Actually, it was kind of an interesting experiment, this film, because we took non-actors and put them with actors. And I know for the director, Betty Thomas, she said she kind of loved it. She said, but it's a lot of work. It is. You know, we walked in there. We were totally green. I mean, I know for me. In fact, I walked in the first day, and I was a wreck. I got on the set, and I was doing something that I thought would be reasonably easy for me, which was doing a radio scene. I was in Detroit by myself on the radio. I get in there, and Betty says, okay, action. I go, Betty, forget the script. I don't need a script here. I'm used to working spontaneously. Get 5 cameras, not 1 camera, because you got to capture it. She goes, Junior, shut up. you got to learn how to make a movie. You got to learn the pace of this thing. And I know that I needed a lot of encouragement.
And there is a moment of great emotion between the two of you in this movie, and we're going to see it when we come back right after this. Were you an ugly duckling when you were young? Were you taunted and teased about your looks? If you made a dramatic turnaround in your appearance and you think you're gorgeous now, call us at 1-800-593-2000. That's 1-800-593-2000. Romantically involved with someone at work.
Hi, Jay.
Well, try telling that to these people. You see, they have a big crush on a coworker.
Ever since I saw her, I just can't keep my eyes off of her.
And they can't keep it a secret any longer.
I'm walking by and I see him and I'm like, whoa.
Can these men and women mix business with pleasure?
I would have never guessed.
Find out on the next Maury Povich Show. Now, there was a moment in their professional lives when Robin was very pissed off at Howard. And this is where it went, because they fired Robin. In order to get to Howard, they fired Robin, and Howard let it happen.
You give me a couple of days, I know I can get you back on the air. I know it.
Forget it.
They're trying to break us apart. They're trying to beat us.
That's the whole point. You and Fred should quit and we should go somewhere else.
Quit. If I quit, they win, don't you see? I don't want them to win. I can't quit.
You're not going to quit?
No.
You're going to let them throw me out like garbage?
No, I want to beat these guys. I want to stomp them into the ground. The only way to do that is to stay on the air. I've got to stay on the air, Robin.
You're pathetic.
I'm not pathetic. Just give me a couple of days to make them understand. I can convince these guys to bring you back. I know I can do that. I have that ability. You know, I really thought our careers would be over if we lost the job at NBC, particularly then.
Sure, you now have excuses.
Now I do.
Right.
But actually, no.
He dumped you, Robin. He let you hang out to dry.
Carry the box. Did you notice that? I'm carrying the box.
Well, you're stronger than I am. But
you know, a day later, you're gone. You're finished.
I'm out of there. That's right. And I didn't know that we would ever work together again. My attitude was that it was over, and he had betrayed me. He had let that happen. He let me take all the weight for whatever we had done that day, and it was over.
Well, actually, Maury...
you hated him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she hated me.
Yeah.
But, you know, I really, truly believed, and I think it's accurately portrayed in the movie, that I really felt that I could get Robin back at NBC. I didn't think that they would stand up to what I was going to do.
By the way, the subsequent scenes are very funny.
Yeah,
when they bring in the newsreader, then they have you doing it yourself.
Well, they gave me a new newsman, and I was not going to let this guy have a good time.
Right.
This is a question for Robin. Anyone who listens to the show obviously knows that Howard is very opinionated, especially on race issues, and I just want to know if you're ever offended by anything that he says.
I don't think that you should get offended by anything that anybody says. I mean, in this room, I don't know how many people this room holds, but every one of these people has an opinion of their own. If Howard says something that I don't think is right or true, I can correct it, I can give my opinion, and people get a chance to hear both sides.
Well, tell me what you've done.
What?
Tell me how you did that.
Today we had a whole conversation about the term wigger on the show. Howard was saying that he didn't think wigger was a bad word, and I said, Howard, that's a term that means white nigger.
Oh,
and
really?
he said...
I didn't know that.
Oh, no, it doesn't. It means it's when a black person or white person wants to act like a black person and do rap. And I said, Howard, please, let's not be so naive.
But you stood up for him with Spike Lee.
I didn't stand up for him with Spike Lee. I thought Spike Lee was stupid to call me when he was upset with Howard. The whole deal was that I had been supporting and promoting Spike Lee movies on our show for years, and I had never heard a word from Spike Lee. One day, Howard suddenly discovers Spike Lee and decides to say that he doesn't like his movies, and Spike Lee calls me. What happened to the 5 years of promotion he was getting from me? All he wanted to do was tell me now that I should leave my show because some white guy said something bad about him. And the point of Spike Lee is that he gets to say whatever he wants to say. Howard should be able to say whatever he wants to say.
Okay, this question is also for Robin. A lot of the things Howard says are really degrading to women. Do you necessarily agree?
Are they degrading to women? What has he said? Give me an example.
Okay, in his book, Miss America, he said if Allison ever died, he would stand on her coffin and have sex with somebody else.
Have you ever heard of a joke?
Yeah, that's
a joke. That is what that is.
Well, what do you object to?
Let me just correct something. In
you
real
object
life,
to the way he treats women, the way he talks about women.
Wait, can I just say something? First of all, I would wait 2 or 3 hours before I started dating if Allison ever died. I would not be disrespectful and have sex on the coffin. That's number one. But the point is that the idea of the show was, and the idea that we try to present in the movie, is that for me, in this day and age of homogenized radio and television, when things have gotten so dull, Maury, but I thought it was always kind of exciting that there was somebody willing to go on the air and split their head open and say whatever was on their mind. Now, I'll tell you why I thought that was refreshing. I'm a heterosexual male, and I got to admit that every 5 minutes I have a sexual thought. And I thought it was interesting not to hide that and mask it and be phony about it. So if that's the premise of the show, it should be refreshing to men and women that there's somebody who's willing to just sort of expose that. Maury has a sexual thought every 5 minutes. Trust me.
Is there anything Howard regrets? We'll find out when we come back after this. What do you regret?
This is probably a character flaw. But I don't regret anything I've ever done on the air. I make no apologies for what I've done. My life has always been about making people laugh.
You don't even regret it when you get into trouble?
No, I don't regret it, and I'll tell you why. Because to me, the show is about making people laugh. And I'm on the radio from 6 to 10 in the morning, which is probably the worst part of people's day. And when people tell me they're trapped in their cars for an hour and a half, and they get into work and they pull into this garage and they say to me, well, I gotta tell you something. I stay in my car for another 10 minutes because I gotta hear what you're gonna say next. That means I'm doing my job.
Howard, my question is involved with the fact that you're tackling stations all across the nation. You're becoming #1, you know, in Los Angeles now. You've toppled Kevin and Bean, K-Rock. I mean, my question is, this movie really seems like a sellout. I mean, it really does. It seems like going for this sensitive issue. You're trying to broaden out into, you know, like film and try to just like tackle something more.
My attempt at making a movie was to make people laugh and to give people a movie. I for one am tired of the Conehead movies, the Saturday Night Live sketches. Dan Aykroyd appears not to read his films. I'm sick and tired of comedies that don't have a story. The cast of Friends keeps making movies that basically looks like a half-hour sitcom, but stretched out over an hour and a half. As far as me presenting something interesting, if I had done a movie, if you had gone to the movies and saw my radio show of today and my television show of today, you'd say, hey, I saw that for free already. Show me something different. Show me something new. And to me, it's not about selling out. It's about being brave. And you want to bring something brand new to the audience. And what did I bring to them? You weren't with me when I was 20 years old. You weren't with me in the battles. The first time I put Lesbian Dating Game on the air, I was ripped into a program director's office, and I was told, I didn't have any money, man, and they said to me, we're firing you. 50% of our advertising dollar is gone. Now, you probably thought in your mind, you know how I kept my job? I went in there and I marched into management and I said, listen, you guys, shut up. And that wasn't it, man. I sat down with them and I tried to work it out like a businessman. I wasn't going to lie to you in this film. That is me off the air. That's what I do. I wanted to show you the full picture. I wanted to show you what I'm like with my wife at home. I wanted to show you and run the gamut. It's not about selling out, man. I like to see somebody else do it and be brave about it and put their real life on the street.
We'll be back after this. Be right back.
This question's for Robin. You know, they have that old saying about having a face for radio, and you don't. You're beautiful. So we want to know, who are you dating? Are you dating anyone? What?
I thought Maury said not to ask that question.
Well, I didn't want him to ask it. I wanted her to ask it.
You avoid that question in the morning, so I thought maybe.
Yeah, because you never talk.
But I'm not ready to name any
talk
names.
about your intimate life, Robin.
Oh, I do talk about it. Oh my God, I talk about it. What are you talking about? No, I
Maury,
just
you haven't been
recently
listening.
started dating someone, but I am not ready to talk about it yet.
Howard?
You told me about it.
I know Howard doesn't like to talk about how much money he makes because he wants to be one of the people, and that's fine and all well and good.
That's not the reason.
Okay, so what does $17 million a year do for you?
I don't make. I read that in the paper too. If I'm making 17, I just said to my agent, "Where is my 17 million?" I want to know when I'm going to get this money.
Okay, well, let's say double-digit millions a year. What's that do for you?
Actually, my life hasn't changed, and I always, you know, people said to me, "Well, maybe you're going Hollywood now," and I said, "Well, what does that mean, going Hollywood? Is my life going to change? I still go home every day to my wife and kids. We don't have any kind of extravagant lifestyle or anything like that, and I don't go on vacations or anything because I hate all foreign countries."
You don't know how other people live, Howard.
No, I just sit at home. That's all. I don't really do much. That's all.
You and Letterman, the two recluses in television and radio.
You think that your life is going to change somehow, but it doesn't really.
You have a thing that drops out of your ceiling and shows movies. What are you talking about?
All right, I got one of those projection cameras. That's what, you know what it got me, Maury? I got a screen that lowers from the ceiling. Okay, you want that? You can have it. Thing doesn't work.
Ladies and gentlemen, Private Parts, big hit, just on the beginning of a huge roller coaster that will take it probably to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It will be huge, and Robin Quivers and especially Howard Stern are a big part of it. Watch it. You'll enjoy it. I hate to say that. I think you will. Thank you both very much.
Maury.
You've been great.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Until next time, America. Tomorrow, my guests have a big crush on a co-worker and they can't keep it a secret any longer. Find out if they can mix business with pleasure. Tomorrow.
Promotional consideration provided by McCall's April issue has it all. 6 strategies to reduce stress and 30 smart ways to lose weight. McCall's on newsstands now. Get your copy today.
Crunch and Munch. It's perfect whatever you're craving. Popcorn, peanuts, and rich buttery toffee.
Delicious. It's like a fun snack. I take this in the car on a long trip.
Or maybe a short trip.
Any trip.
Make tonight's dinner a golden opportunity with crunchy golden fish sticks only from Gorton's. For the crunchy toasted taste your kids will love, trust the Gorton's fishermen. March is Vaseline Research Skin Awareness Month. Call 1-800-733-SKIN for your direct line to healthy-looking food.
Don't let love pass you by.
More record-breaking heat. When will it cool down? At 11.
Must-see TV, NBC.
$1.89. Why is this $1.89? Why is there no haggling in this country?
I guess we like to think we've progressed beyond a knife fight for a citrus drink.
Not me. Everything should be negotiable.
Restaurants, too?
Absolutely. You telling me there's no room to move on pasta? All starches are a scam.
Yeah, especially ziti with that big hole.
Excuse me. How much is this?
$1.19.
I'll give you a quarter. Get the hell out of here.
Tell him 40 and no fork.
30.
That's it.